So you do know that Avengers Infinity War is much better than Avengers Endgame, right? Hello everybody, today I'm going to be talking about why Infinity War, in my opinion, is a much better movie than Avengers Endgame. To be honest, I do love both of these movies. These are genuinely movies that I love. They're probably my favorite movies inside the entire MCU. Infinity War is definitely in the first place, but the point is that I really love both of these movies. I think Endgame has a very large epic scale that I kind of haven't seen ever before. So guys, today I'm just gonna present like 3 arguments why I currently believe that Avengers Infinity War is actually a better film than Avengers Endgame. Oh yeah, something I want to say really quickly is I've only seen Endgame once so far, and I've seen Infinity War like 5 times. Not more than 5 times actually, and over time I did start to like Infinity War much better as a film, and now it's one of my favorite movies of all time. So yeah, I've only seen Avengers Endgame once, and it might grow on me to a point where I might start liking it better, but for now, I do think Infinity War is a better movie. Guys, before we begin, I do want to ask you guys, what do you think about Infinity War and Endgame? Which one do you like better? Please comment down below. I know that this is like so super cliche for any YouTuber, but you know, just do it. But I do want to give a spoiler warning because, you know, spoilers are kind of necessary to make the arguments I want to make. Everybody's pretty much seen the movie already, so I don't really think it's a big deal. If you haven't, I'm sorry. Okay, so the first reason that I actually like Infinity War much more than Endgame is because of the unique perspective of the film. We kind of follow Thanos' journey throughout the film, as he is the central character. It is really one of those movies where the bad guy is the main character. Even though the audience doesn't really like him, they may empathize with him a bit because, you know, all people can be empathized with. Doesn't mean that you have to agree with what they do. Thanos is a really evil dude, you know, you should hate him for what he did to, you know, our superheroes. But what I'm trying to say is we got his point of view, and I think that is important when creating a villain, especially in the era that we live in right now, where we do expect some reasoning behind what people actually do, unlike, you know, older films that you didn't really have to give kind of motivations for your villain. Now you kind of have to, because audiences are gonna think that villains are dumb if you don't. But yeah, in terms of Infinity War, this unique perspective really gave the movie a different feeling compared to the other Avengers films, because in the other Avengers films, you kind of see the point of view of the Avengers, which is kind of, you know, makes sense because it's called the Avengers. But also Thanos is just an amazing character overall, and I just love him to death, while still hating him.
Genocide is back.
My second reason why I think Infinity War is a better film is because of its pacing. The pacing of Infinity War is something that is just, you have to watch it to like really understand it, because every scene is absolutely essential to the story. Even if you miss like 2 minutes, you're not gonna be sure what's going on, and I think that does apply to Endgame to an extent in certain like acts. In the third act, I think you have to be there for the whole time. The second act, you can take a few breaks. The first act is pretty important as well. But for Infinity War, it's so fast-paced that this 2.5-hour movie feels faster than a rom-com. For me, Endgame did have some pacing issues actually. I thought that the first 20-ish minutes were a bit rushed. They could have added like 10 minutes to kind of pad it out a bit. Guys, my last and admittedly kind of unimportant reason is that there's a lot of plot holes in Endgame compared to Infinity War at least, which kind of made sense throughout. But Endgame, because of the time travel kind of story, yes, I did warn you of the spoilers, so like if you're still here, you suck. And because of the time travel story, just nothing makes sense basically. This is with most time travel movies. Looper, which was a film that I really loved, even addressed it in the film. But yeah, it establishes its rules in terms of time travel very early, but I think the end doesn't really follow those rules. And admittedly, I'm not even the type of person that normally cares about plot holes. I would argue with someone if they're like talking about a plot hole that's ruining a movie for them. I would be like, man, just enjoy the movie, you know? And I am that type of person, But when you have such a big plot hole, it's just distracting and taking away from the emotional experience. An example of this is Old Man Cap at the end. I don't know if that's an actual thing, I just made that up on the spot right here. But I'm calling him Old Man Cap because, you know, it just sounds cool. But basically, I don't really understand, and basically what I'm trying to say is he should not exist. He should not be in this current timeline. There are some things that I can think of. There is a possibility that it was already set in stone that he's gonna go back to the past, and in every single reality, he does go back to the past. But that's just an example of me trying to fix a plot hole. There's other plot holes as well, like why can't they bring an earlier version of Black Widow back, and stuff like that. That's really bugging me. But, you know, I'm sure in multiple rewatch that I would stop caring a bit as well, because that's normally what happens with me. I don't really care about plot holes. I don't even know why I brought this up as a point, but basically, yeah guys, these are the reasons that I kind of like Infinity War much more than Endgame, even though I love both movies, as I said before. On a sheer spectacle level, Endgame is definitely one of those movies that you just have to see in a cinema. I cannot imagine watching this film on like a normal, regular TV for the first time. It's just not that kind of experience. In fact, I'm gonna watch this multiple times in theaters, and I recommend you kind of watch it if you haven't watched it already, which I kind of spoiled the whole thing, but anyways. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you have a nice day. And if you didn't like this video, actually, I'm just gonna shut up now.